So if you're a real estate agent and you're kind of on the line, if you're wanting to implement an AI dialer into your business, or you're just learning of what an AI dialer is and its capabilities, I'm going to be showing you in this video how you're able to implement it into your business and show you how it's able to cut costs for your business and generate more money. The reason why I say it will generate a lot more money is because you're going to be able to get a hold of your leads 10 times faster. And because of that, when you get a hold of your leads faster, they usually convert at a higher rate. So with all that being said, let's get into how to implement an AI dialer into your business. And I'm going to be showing you what softwares to use and what voices to use. So let's get into it. So the first software that we're going to be using is the AI dialing software called Retell AI. And the reason we are going to be using Retell AI is for a couple of reasons. So the first reason is they are the cheapest voice AI on the market with no downsides in performance. The second reason is they're always coming out with new features and are innovating at a rate I haven't seen in any other company. So basically with Retell, what we're going to do is use this as the calling site to be able to call your leads and talk with them. And then we're going to use a bit of other softwares to be able to make the calls and do all of that. But this is the software we're going to use. So if you haven't already created an account with Retell, I would recommend just coming up over here, click login, and then it's going to also prompt you to create an account with Google, or you're going to be able to create an account just like that. So the first thing that we're going to do is create an agent. And Retell has a couple different ways on how you're able to create your agent. You're able to create a multi-prompt agent, you're able to create a single prompt agent, and you're able to control the flow of the conversation with an agent. But for this use case, we're just going to use a single prompt agent. This is the easiest way to set up an AI while getting everything you need. So once you click on single prompt, click start from blank. The first thing that we're going to do is, depending on what the AI's use case is for, most realtors are wanting to place outbound calls. We're going to put over here AI initiates calls. And then we are going to say, hello, is this? So once it says, hello, is this name? And basically once that person responds, it will go on with the rest of the conversation. The nice thing about Retell is you only pay for the AI talking. So if the AI is not talking, you're not paying for that. If a call is getting placed, you're not paying for that. And if a call lands in voicemail, you're not going to pay for that. The next thing we're going to come to is over here, GPT-4o. We're able to switch it to Claude or just keep it with GPT-4o. For our use case, we're going to keep it on GPT-4o. The voice that we're going to use is going to be Kate. And then you're able to click use voice. And the thing with the 11 Labs voices is you're able to add your own voice over here and basically create your own voice clone and be able to just have the most realistic voice on the market. Because the difference between a clone voice and the voice that's just provided by 11 Labs is that the 11 Labs voices are completely AI generated voices. These are not cloned voices by anyone. They're just created by 11 Labs with their whole AI product. But if you want to have a fully customized voice to a specific person, it's going to sound 10 times better because you're able to basically emphasize certain stuff with question marks, commas, and basically make it replicate the way you speak. And what I recommend when you create your own voice is having over around 10 minutes of voice in there. Of course, the longer the recording is of your voice, the better it is. What I did for one of my voices is I have 80 minutes of my voice recording and it sounds exactly like a human when you put it on the phone, and no lead recognizes anything. And that's basically where you want it at, basically being able not to recognize a voice. But if you don't want to record your voice, you're able to choose a community voice. So the first thing that you're going to have to do is log in. Once you're logged in, what you're going to want to do is basically come to voice library, come over here to voices. So basically once you're in here, you're going to want to come to voices over here and then come to library. And then you're able to just scroll through the whole entire library that they have and find a voice that you want to use. Now, as you're able to see, it shows you how many people are using the voices and what are the most popular voices people are using. So if you click on the voice, you're going to be able to hear a demo. And what I recommend doing is finding a woman's voice, because woman voices usually perform better over the phone, depending on what industry, but most of the industries, a woman's voice performs better over the phone. So you're going to want to find a woman's voice. So a voice that we can use is this one, Cassidy. And basically what you're going to want to do is click add to my voices, use, and then basically take the voice name. So it's going to be, the full name is Cassidy. Come over here, Cassidy. And it's going to be this one, and then click save. And then we're able to use that voice if you want a better voice, if you don't want to clone your own voice. So basically, once it's done saving, you're able to use that voice instead of the voices that are in here right now. So if we refresh, it should have updated. So it didn't update in case, so we're going to look up Cassidy and then basically use voice. And basically that's how you're able to add your own voice. And yeah, that option of adding voices is only available with 11 Labs at the moment. With Play HD, you're not able to add your own custom voice, and with OpenAI, you're not able to add your own custom voice. And it costs the same amount of money on the minute. And the next thing that you're going to want to do is come over here and choose what language you want it speaking in. It's able to be multilingual, so it's able to talk in English and Spanish. And notice if a person can only speak Spanish and talk only in Spanish. The next thing that you're going to want to do is come over here to functions, click add, and then basically add whatever you need. So if you want to have it transfer the call, you're going to come here and then basically add a description to the reason of the transfer and how transfers can be initiated and how you want the transfers to happen. Do you want it being a cold transfer or do you want it being a warm transfer? Most people want it being warm transfers, getting to know basically exactly what was happening on the other line. So basically you're able to have a prompt over here and basically just get to know what happened and then be able to talk with the lead. And you're able to qualify them and then book them in for an in-person meeting at a home or schedule a tour for them. And then basically add the prompt over here and then click save. If you want dynamic routing, you're basically able to make it so it can choose which number to call. So if there's 10 real estate agents at one brokerage and you want to switch it between calling different agents, you're able to basically make it choose randomly which agent to call. So each agent gets new leads. But yeah, and then basically once you're done doing that, you're able to click save. If you want to add your calendar, you're able to add cal.com, and basically that will connect to your Google Calendar. If you want to connect it to a CRM, there is a workaround. It's not built in with Retell, but because of their APIs being so good, you're able to come here to custom functions and basically add this over here. Most likely, if you're a realtor, you're not a developer. So if you need help with that, you're able to book a call at sympana.com, and I can do this for you. I've built this for a lot of different realtors, so it is a possibility. If you want to connect it to a CRM, we could completely do that for you. But anyways, the next thing that we're going to do is come over here to prompt and basically add a full prompt. So basically what you're going to need is to create a script that you're going to want the AI to talk with. And then once you create that script, what you're going to want to do is test that script to make sure everything goes smoothly. Most of my real estate agents that I'm working with right now, for example, have sales scripts made for these types of calls. And what we basically do is take those scripts, put it into here, and then from there, we develop on that script so the AI can do stuff better. And then from there, we keep on developing the script to the point where the AI is able to do everything perfectly. The next thing before we create the prompt is coming over here to call settings. Most likely, if you're calling Facebook leads, you're going to want to keep voicemail detection on, and you're going to want to decide if you're going to want to leave a message or if you're going to want to hang up. Again, you're paying for all of this if a voicemail happens. You're paying for the minutes if the AI leaves a voicemail. But if you don't want to pay for that and keep your overhead low, I would recommend just hanging up on voicemail. Then the next thing is post call. And this basically adds all the notes that you need for your script. If you want to connect to a software like Make.com or Zapier, you're able to directly add your webhook URL over here to send all of that data over to Make.com, or Zapier could send the data over to your CRM. So now that we know how this whole thing works, let's create the prompt and let's finish everything up really quick. Let's go to ChatGPT real quick and let's create a real estate agent prompt. We are going to use O3 Mini High. So basically what I said is create me an AI dialer prompt that is going to be able to call my Facebook leads and then transfer them. And it created this. We're not going to really focus on the prompt, but I do recommend, if you're creating this for your business, to focus on the prompt, because this is the most important part. Connections are not as important as what the AI says. What you're going to want to focus on the most is the prompt. But because this is a demo, we're just going to add this prompt and basically add that. Now, if you want to know the variables, you're able to come over here and see what variables you're able to add. But that's basically it. So we have the script added, and then you're able to come over here and immediately start testing the agent.
Hello, is this Emanuel?
Yes.
Hello, Emanuel. This is your name calling from real estate agency. I hope.
And basically that's how you're able to test the AI. Now, if you don't like the voice, you're able always to add a new one or just switch the ones that are in here. And the next thing that I recommend you doing is coming over here to knowledge base and basically adding your own knowledge base. So it basically scrolls your website every single 12 hours and basically saves that as knowledge. So if a user has a question, the AI is able to answer that question without ever having to struggle or make something up. So if we come back over here, we're able to add a knowledge base, and then it's going to cost 5 cents more on the minute. Now, the last thing is, if you don't want to use the CRM and you just want to use this AI dialer, you're going to come over here to batch calling, create a batch call, upload your lead list over here, choose the number that's going to be calling. Do you want to make all of the calls happen now, or do you want to schedule them? Then if you want to schedule them, select the date that you want to use. And then once you add those leads in, it's going to estimate a time for it to complete it. And then it's going to start calling them, and then it's going to follow your whole script. And if you have it connected to a calendar, it's going to be able to basically send those calls through. But this is going to cost an extra half a cent per dial. So just think of that if you're wanting to do this. And yeah, that's basically it. Now that we finished all of this, let me show you one of the CRMs I implemented this AI agent in, and how the AI agent directly connects to Retell and places all of these calls. So here's one of the CRMs we are using. It's called Go High Level. And basically here is the whole entire pipeline that we integrated Retell with. And basically what it does is, when you get a new lead, they come here to call. And within 5 minutes, we do redial them to try getting a hold of them as fast as possible. And if the lead doesn't respond the first times we call them, we are going to have a follow-up system to call them twice a day for the next 10 days. And if they never respond, they get put in never responded. If they are not interested, they get put in lead not interested. And if the calls are in progress, you're able to come over here and see what calls are going through and see how many are getting placed. And once the lead booked, they get booked. And if the lead doesn't show up to the appointment, you're going to be able to come here and move the lead from booked to no show. And then we, of course, have a system to basically follow up with those leads and make sure that they're going to show up. So yeah, that's basically how we connected Go High Level 2 here. And with that, we also connected to the Go High Level calendar, which is able to connect to a lot of other calendars like Google Calendar, Outlook Calendar, iCloud Calendar, and Calendly. And you're also going to be able to connect it to your video conferencing softwares like Zoom and Microsoft Teams, if you were to want to. And from there, it basically calls your leads, books them into appointments, and if they don't show up, there is a follow-up system. And if they do show up or do respond to your call, then you take it from there. So this whole AI dialer is basically meant to give you more time in your day to be able to start making more money and talk with leads instead of having to stress on getting more clients because the AI is handling it. Lastly, the last thing that I want to emphasize is that I really don't recommend cold calling with this AI dialer because it is very illegal. So if you do cold call, expect a $10,000 fine per call that is placed. So just those fines can put you out of business if the government catches you, and those laws are not going to be going away ever. That's just to protect consumers. So I highly recommend that you do research into this, but if you do everything correctly, it is going to give you a lot of time in your day. And there are currently no laws on inbound calling because those people are interested in your company. There's nothing protecting that if they're expressing interest to you. But for outbound calls, the lead has to give you written interest in your company. So by clicking a checkbox or by sending you a message. And basically that's how you're able to implement an AI dialer into your business, and just make sure that you do it legally. And if you have any other questions about Retell or implementing this into your business, feel free to leave them in the comment section right below. Lastly, if you want to be caught up on the most recent AI news, join my Telegram or my newsletter.